Any Samoa Bernard. Adams Isaka, keep up the good work. Okay, Adams, thank you. Mobile mon share in terms of corner and then you know, we are going to do a lot of exposing. Maybe a course was my catch say beyond the propaganda, beyond the pump and pageantry, we are going to let you understand the governance that is going on. Forget the inflation, forget everything, because I mean, forget a year dollar a year 1p. You inject a nioma a year life support so Emma dollar ne shows why you're strong. But underneath the dollar no me pese me chiro de ekoso. Forget the fact that yabo minister 60. Me pese me chiro de ekoso. Ye be say di nkomo afa a year Women's Bank away Uti region nkomo a ekoso 24-hour economy. Yes, a car shortage. They say there petrol na ba form petrol no man drivers need to meet na car man for ne betena mu nso ebi ni ho ɛno nso ibebusa sɛ adan na petrol aba form ho na nso car man for ne betena ebi ni ho ɔsɛ owusu nkwanta bisa wodin ade ɔsɛ watching you from Agona your hometown ɔsɛ owusu Agona me hometown ne wampa na manage Agona wiamuase mechia mo ukoduru Agona minuano bebre wo ho owuo so mechia mo saa bere ukoduru Agona dia otompo ne nkrofo free jamase bejo mani besmark ka ho kwakudua wo munyina eka ho chairman part anyas wo munyina Agona saa so na eye wayi ageman deputy youth organizer waka ho na yabomo wura mo ase yeduru wia mo ase nso a you can say anti edu ne nkrofo wo munyina ewo ho ansa na bipua yebetwam bipua ansa ne yakọ bipua nso kodu ho a ɛhɔ na ɛyɛ former women's organizer no comfort ɔwɔ na comfort ne yemienu ɛyɛ ayi comfort de wɔ no yɛ assembly woman no wɔ hɔ dako a ansa na comfort former women's organizer ɔno nso aba na ɛyɛ Bismarck ɔno yɛ coordinator ɛwɔ hɔ Frank J Mensa nso ɛyɛ coordinator ɛwɔ ɛyɛ bipua ansa ne abɛsena twam akɔ jamase ɛno duru hɔ a asma solo ne nkrofo solo yɛ chairman kwakwa ne nkrofo na adwumo yɛ coordinator wɔ ɛyɛ jamase na adwumo mechia wɔ nwumre yi yɛbɛsini twam ne yɛde wura ɛyɛ kuna no beduru hɔ na ɛyɛ ayi ɔhene ba ɛyɛ akwaboa wɔ hɔ ne bafo wɔ mo nyinaa yɛ coordinators mechia mo nwumre yi na tanodumase nso na ne frempɔn mechia mo na yɛ kɔbɛdumase a ufori amanfo ne ne nkrofo ufori mechia mo Kennedy mo so mechia wo Agyen ene ne nkrofo nso wɔ ɛyɛ wɔn nyinaa coordinators na Samson Nyako nso mechia wo ɔno nso yɛ coordinator ɛwɔ hɔ yɛkɔ ɛyɛ bepo ase nso a twenebo akodua tike sabere mechia ho te sɛ bibi abɔkɔ deɛ na abduru asaman a me nkrofo bebree ɛwɔ hɔ wɔn dɔɔso bebree sabere no me boy ne mamu ebi ne menya asem o edi no do so bitimi nkai ni nyina na Alhaji Hashim ene Alhaji Ahmed ono ye Nasara coordinator mo nyina mechia mo wan maka agya ne din edi asem beba o asugya hwe eti ye nante now ene ye bedi nkomo akọ baby I say let's go hopeful thank you let's go and the yabasha eye mampon MCE obi mo mampon MCE say ne ho asem aba bedi ha yebebusa questions about the governance ayekoso de enti na wo bu amemu saa Owura Felix Ofosu-Kwakye a oye member of parliament and government spokesperson enso e de nsem bi aba betudwa yebedi nkomo Kwame Boakye ya do say Agona nyame tiase nokore Agona nyame otiase da bia Agona nyame no wɔte ase da bia eti mamoma bibia hamo sɛde America ne yebedi nkomo akɔ ɛyɛ mampon yefriwa Felix Ofosu-Kwakye de nsɛm bi tudwa yebɛkɔ ne akɔ tutum amu ahunu ɛtoro a yetwa woyɛ no friwa United States of America de ɛyɛ ban ato ɛyɛ immigrant visa so na enra ngrobozi kadaji wabo onim the difference between immigrant visa and norm Eradi nyame because enra matchro se eduru ho a mechirim eduru ho a me say World Cup no ahye so ye the ban na two immigrant visas no nim difference enipa matena professor Lulu Ferrante class enya A- wo immigration law minim immigration law wona anim wona American immigration law ani chebe yate yento aso many time for monkwase asem ni munzim hu no now President Kufuor etene ba bi din enema no bebre wo ho a etwam ye madwen say I won't pay attention to the nonsense being done by Taylor ebio. But that is not to say we are going to give him a leeway. Say obetwantro ato enipa a omabɔ brachen nesen ene na busuafo nyina eso. Taylor de entrobia to former President Kufuor so efa Chairman Ntim. Ene mene former President Kufuor edi nkomo. So I have his permission. Say sa nkomo no I will set the record straight about sa nkomo no. Eti yebedi sa nkomo no. But before that, Jabia said yeme no. Mama public announcement. Now public announcement di kan ene say see I said dollar ekosoro. Dollar no bono. Dollar no say dollar no ho ayedin sidi na a week. Na mom dollar no ho ayedin sidi na a week ya. Ye kohwe ye no wuyi wani free propaganda no so na aka say wo kohwe BOG report na anga say mu a BOG report for 2025 it shows that there is a significant reduction in a credit flow. Now your credit flow no a man yoma bebre enye hu the credit flow kira ne say amanfo bobosia free bank adidi dwa no mo side sika koto ma bank ne ye ade no say according to Air Bank of Ghana latest report no kira say the first 10 months of 2025 no credit flow are now in 2024 a year 20.952 billion Ghana cedi a reduce about a year 8.86 billion. That is about 142% reduction. As it chire nyina ne say said na bank for no ebodo me market for ma no ebosia ema wo mo etimi edidi dwa no in 2024 banks ne bobosia to the tune of 20.95 billion. Nemo unfortunately yes dollar no aye den sidi na aye den no banks ne antimi amobosia banks ne bosia omo boy ma manfo editre wo mo dwumadie mu nyina no aye 8.626 billion. So that is a collapse of over 12 billion in credit flow just in 1 year. Tienye na credit flow no ehun hia. Credit flow no the lifeblood of the economy. Economy ni say beye yo, say enye yo, say be kosuro, say enkosuro. Credit flow no na ehia. If say credit flow no na ma business gina wo na so. Banks ne bo business. Banks ne bo household bosia. Eno na mo mutimi de etre wo machine. Na akufo-addo penso yesi ba dollar no enye. And so 2024 banks in bo manfo bosia o mo de tre o madwuma businesses expanding 20 billion. And dollar no aye investor confidence aba. Jesus Christ aba. Ye hunu bi da. Nanso credit no a collapse banks mo be say banks no enye aban no otiso ni say ne figures na wo de maka kire mo say enye de aban ne wo pin ni hia say wo betia mamuo no ase ni hia eti enye me na make Bank of Ghana no report ana odi aba say in the year 2025 credit flow no that is softer credit expansion to the private sector no reduce. In simple terms, banks are playing it safe. In simple terms, banks and person because omonye aban no eni. Eti banks and bosia na ye bono. And no more business in grow. Business, SME, small scale enterprises, traders, manufacturers. Wamuntimi nya adwuma, evize wamunya bosia mpompa nya adwuma. Na aban papa ba. Aban fun say. Na yema bre, let's give time some time. If say man for koso mo gudom market for man no, kantamanto for man no, makola for man no, wo mo koso mo kopebosi a, wo mo nya bi. Enti unemployment rate no, kosoro na mabre give time some time. Ronnie Thompson say you are very empty. Ronnie nyahwe, oni empty no amesero ma mefa nkyere mamfo no asesa wate. Ronnie wa ye deep no kubie bi na. We nya banking issue. Me ka asema chiro pain. Tienie. Government na de na wo ye no. Ye fake. Dollar na ye woni pin ye fake. Enya no kore. Eno nti na ye banks no entimi emma bosia no. So 142% of a year bank credit flow collapse. That is a red flag. It shows economy a enyina ne nanso. Tienie. Emo obi ama me da down tum futrum wani. Now yanko a year announcement number 2. We dey mesere mu a mo obi a medi matem. Announcement number 2 no yeti krom ha. Wo hwe ahaya on the 11th of March, aka 2 months pepepe. Na ura ato forcing, ato awo force. Eko ka kire ye se na yadawrma wo ba bebie Women's Bank. Na Women's Bank no na ehye omo manifesto. Now Women's Bank no or the same ne bebie a enam so omo ya atrofo na omo nka no kurenti no. Okogina Parliament. Yentie atufose, mind you, 11th March 2025, which is exactly 2 months. And was it the year 2025, no? Omu bebie Women's Bank. Yentie yura ato forcing. Ato awo force yentie no.
We have also allocated 1.3 million Ghana cedis as seed fund for the establishment of the Women's. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have also allocated 51.3 million Ghana cedis as seed fund for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Apprenticeship Program. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, we have also allocated an amount.
Ato awo force wadama papa. Ne say no Women's Bank and da ben beba. If se me no ka say Bank of Ghana ne Women's Bank 51 million na ka say obeye no. Bank of Ghana say opese obi bank wo Ghana. The minimum capital requirement a wo hia 400 million. Nenam se atoro ahwe omo kra mu ma. Na omo nim se manfo ni nsua de manfo ni nredi. Eti etwa manfo ni tronti no. Okobo 51 million wa abere onim se 51 million ebie banka enye ye. Now shortly after ohun se wagu fi no. Ana okopie mu wo City FM okokyerɛkyerɛm akamu ye asempa nso de tietia. Okodru City FM mum ana waka say government allocated 410 million. Abanya frakadam, killnet aban. 1 year down the lane, almost 1 year. Women Bank ni se sihio. Ye hunu baby wo. Na minim se ye the 51 million etimi bie bank. Ewa abra the real figure of capital requirement ye here. Ye di enu bie bank near 400 million. Eti na ese ohunu se aban no atro nkontompo aban me ka na mudi matem me atemdidie no ensesa hwe be se muni mia ewiase nipa nyina ekọ right na me hwe din na me busa mo se ade no mo nyina ekọ right ese me call left na me setting in my mind se me call left bibia no we betimi asesa now mudi matem nyina na me kire mo ade mu behunu nso ebise aban no omo nka no kore propaganda ne content creating ye womo de chance womo be adwuma aban no propaganda content creating eye womo de chance womo be adwuma etiesi ebusa the pertinent questions, the real issues beyond a year santro na umu chacheremono. Esi ebusa the real issues. Eti ubufu wa ho. So ubufu semi ebusa a year the real issues are. Ubufu wa ho. Wadalma enemisa bebusa question. Oti region for etu abama yera John Dramani Mahama. Oti region for to abama yera John Dramani Mahama no. Oti region for most of the asem.
Bonatim pro na waba no. Hwe. Fasia, hwe. Wow. Bra. Wow. Ye krom kwa no. Krom fin fito. Aha. MPP winning seat da. NDC na winning seat. Ewa ha. NDC nema enya party mu bia bra. E da mamo. E mamo president. E mamo minister. Ya sa mamo MP. E di MC aka ho. Mu twan de. Hwe krom fin pe. E do campaign time. NDC for mo target na kro. Sana MPP for mo target. Hwe krom fifi. Hwe de ka bre. Bra. What is it? Bra. Yeah. On that way. Anado abe dam na to no mahama wa ba uchi ochende mbra kobra don't fit prepare MPP for target na ha NDC for do party campaign time ntokwa ya kuma NDC no na hwe krom fifi ya da enwa hwe bronyasi hwe nkwanta hwe pasa bra chere na amu hwe kasa isi o fasika no so hwe kasa isi krom ni nya mu nyina sese bra kobra just stop wa kwa ho just stop untikro amampo teduani e o krom na nsa fuwe afoso krom
Yo, catch here, Wadalma. Catch Wadalma. It's way Wadalma, Oti region for Nesemenka Yera John Dramani Mahama. Say, Yera John, one to a bamount, we do one carbonate, or to a bamount, is or to a bamount, yeah. Almost said a while, almost so a year a quine. It's way a public announcement. We mean carbonate, we way a public announcement, keke. Why? Yera John Dramani Mahama buying. Aha, enti wubufu a wo ya NDC ni na wubufu na atworocho nkwase asemu a eyo na abuafu ho na abuafu na ade ne yesi Ghana ese no petrol no aba fom nanso still no yenya cars ni bi efa entu kwan adai ade asemu a ade na esi Aden yenya petrol ni bi say no okay so one before say be call no MCE for a year Mampong tienie MCE for Mampong we are closely watching you me ba be dis ankomo no but before say ma be din komo no sameja mfi ade asemu a
24-hour economy no eyen hihye ya John Mahama ni NDC adwe hu yi akwa akiri.
Nokure.
Say ye de ba na abeboa me ye kriti enwuma pa.
Nokure.
Okay. Enwuma pa nya adwuma keke enwuma pa.
Nokure.
Ama Ghana fo mu ni adwuma titiriw
mpa.
Anything ye ka 24-hour economy na waje so say adwuma pa. 24-hour economy adwuma pa. It's about decent, well-paying, sustainable jobs. John Mahama say dey na ye dey. Ye be ma passport office aye adwuma 24/7 no break. Yebema DVL aye adwuma 24/7 the same for POS. Inti ya titi beko adwuma no pa no wotwe 8 hours ebebo no 9 enwumre no wakwa. Na Captain Smart akọ no 9 akosi 12 am 8 hours. Captain Smart airport na Sami Jemfiko 12 am ebisi anopa 8 am.
Okay.
Enti se we nya adwuma anopa ma ne ha because na do betuma nya adwuma. We nya adwuma anwumra ma ne ha because ahomache betuma nya adwuma. That is what happens abroad.
Okay.
Enti all these state institutions made me answer na yem fantu hu. Omo nya adwuma 24/7 no. Say and then one shift 8 hours no more yen so omo adwuma 400,000. Omo the two shifts ka ho adwuma for no enkoso.
times 3.
Times 3.
Same yada se. Same yabi 24-hour economy no almost say abaso. So we say times 3. 81 job, 3 shifts. Yes sir. Now if you the 1 job, 3 shifts aba. Na atrotro drivers GPRT for. Woman so say ampani ampa tienie. But before say about atrotro drivers ni GPRT for so no. Angosi Brat, wona aboa me ye campaign ma NDC for. Na omuwa ban mu ene omuwa opposition ene omuwa ban mu no. Angosi Brat 24-hour economy oti asese.
Electioneering period. What Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Yes.
After the election, the perspective appears to be changing to something else.
Hey,
that's problematic.
That's true. That's true.
So we need to know
yes,
during the electioneering period, what Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes. Enyame nkwana me notice say aban we ye atro aban. Enyame nkwana me notice say aban we di omuka na opposition bia no. Wo mu twatro a kire manfo no. Now even their own Kwesi Pratt aneba, mind you. Uncle Kwesi Pratt eba eye adwuma wo office of the vice president. Ama Pratt. Eti Uncle Kwesi Pratt say dia we mu ka no wo opposition no. Wo hunu so wo bae no mo dan wo ma no. Eti say make a teche na make na wunyi nia. Wo de Kwesi Pratt ebe ka bi. Angosi ba cho wadaroma yensen chi obi why.
Was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yeah.
During the electioneering period, what Ghanaians understood to be 24-hour economy was simply that we'll be working around the clock.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Yes.
After the election, the perspective appears to be changing to something else. Yeah. And that's problematic.
That's true. That's true.
So we need to know really what the 24-hour economy should mean. We knew what it meant. What it meant was that people would work.
Yes.
There'll be
That was the narrative. Yes.
So
Yes.
Okay.
Shift system.
Now it doesn't appear to be that, and there's a need for some interrogation. Okay. So I agree with that.
It's when you're in America, where did you matem? Who did you matem? But 24-hour economy, no. Samija mfimu nchire mwoni say 1 job, 3 shift. Na fimu kofa 1 job, 3 shift aba. Na trotro drivers nso say so mu load ye free eye yemfa ne say eye ayi Angunaga junction dia kwaso amia instead so mbe load straight no omu take inspiration from 24-hour economy it will be loaded from Angunaga junction wodru eye airport runabout no wagina wo load from airport runabout wodru Krofrom no wagina osimi nkobio no asa load from Krofrom no de atoa so kwaso ame no wanya 3 Musimu ntibida, muna muma wa mude saadi ene bai. It's 133 transport economy. Ano omo rane. So Angunaga Junction to airport runabout. First fare. Airport runabout to Krofrom, second fare. Krofrom to Swami, third fare. Muna mudi aba. It is a mudi 133 aba. Na trotro drivers and say nei wamo enya yi eti. Nipa nyaka adentia 24-hour economy ne 133 shift no more driver for no so practice bi and they say no so walk a year from Pokwasi to a year circular or be far from Pokwasi to Fankor runabout first shift or from Fankor runabout no abesi a year beka second shift and sana from Abeka to circle third shift Musimu ntibida 81 trade a very good policy. Munya driver for no musu nyebi. Manfo ni nyaka a driver for ni nyehwe. De mo mu ka asem beye no. Ano mu di kan aye amamo. 24-hour economy de mo ka asem beye no. Ano mu eye amamo. Obia nyamfonso. It is any pan wo ko malam a. Olodi free achemota eso otimi gina La Paz. Na mu nyina musi. Na wa load from La Paz to a year sotrium na munyina masi sotrium na watoa so akwa kodu Eti eye 133. Nobody should come and do any answer 133 formula no anu mgusu a omoye no. We announcement ubufu a. Yen sorry mfiri eho na yenni nkomo we. So eye MCU4 Mampo Asante Mampo. Say Asante Mampo no muka say omo mpene ma Asanteni bi ameye MCU no. Ampeni ampa omo ama Asanteni bi anya MCU ho. Na afi yentie Mampo municipal. Say me no woka say omo allocate 300,000 wo hwe ade ya media to so ya appendix. Already ade na media to so no a. Me no woka say Mampo municipal no allocate 300,000 Ghana cedi. So or they drill boreholes, 3 mechanized boreholes. They or ye boreholes for a year communities are or poor and needy. Ironically, one no MC, or yes, our budget in you, borehole no ni fee, also want to mean conco bunch a man for them. Idea or the show also what the yama a year the needy society no. Or no MC, a allocation, what tobacco, a fee. Instead, say call the poor people no. MCE's residents were 2 borehole no ho. Sa so no de ba akoko MA block. Edo Osekrum Osekrum Chips compound. Now question ye busan say the program is sustainable potable water distribution to a year undeserved communities. Underserved communities. Now underserved communities, MC say no residency one year underserved community. It was 100,000 by your borehole. Frakadama buying. MC Yowa Santemampong. What the 300,000 are sent the budget to say what they quack a year underserved communities, sustainable potable water distribution to underserved communities. Now, underserved communities, or no residents was say a underserved communities is why back. Tienye. Now, question ye busane say, even Osha a year prices of borehole, the average borehole cost a year between 30,000 to a year 60,000. And then MC, overpriced borehole to 100,000 Ghana cedi. We are asking questions. MC, a year then wo raise borehole prices. Me 2 borehole ama agona. Mabua a year asaman for ama yo mu borehole awie. Mabua kona for ama yo mu borehole awie. My mama could 2 borehole ewo jamase. I have an idea how much borehole cost. Now Asante Mampong, a year day and a wo borehole no me too agona de me sophisticated. Still it cost me about nearly 80,000 Ghana cedi. Jamase Diana was around 50 to 60,000 Ghana cedi. A year then I won't call borehole dear. So MC, we are asking you pertinent questions and you have to answer. You will answer. Thank you. Now, young trust before that. That's a moon, what yet is say, Every years was his amazing Abia. Our mamma is in Abia. Snabio. Snabia, DJ. Snabia, yesterday. Sababunia, why am I me upon your phone? Sababu, what yet is a metia. Okay. Sababunia, why am I me upon your phone? That's a memo. What yet is say? All right, thank you very much. So, stick it with me. A year for the record. So, now when Mr. P and Mr. X, you Majuma. Oh boy, Mr. P, Mr. X, be any baby. Mr. P, Mr. X, yani edi ensa P by ensa na ba ko your friend Mr. P. Your friend ba ko Mr. X. Eti ye nyina na edi ensa na P na ye biebiem. Eti say Mr. P, Mr. X, move on to so ma me na me de to so. Sa na ye no. America de oba bedru ahanwa na ayo bibia. Wusi wo yire nioma wie sinkola ne nioma wie a. No aba betena eye yi camera nim no why yen sa ne ye no Mr. P Mr. X bi ani babia ye nyina yen sa ba ko Mr. P yen sa left ne Mr. Y sa ne ye no why ti monyintum sa now yentie Owura Sam George yentie.
Lastly, on the LGBT issues, I mean, if you get a nod, how far would you hope to push it? The president, your candidate, when he was interviewed on the BBC, he said he would now look into what is in that bill.
You know, that's a misconception has been put out. And I listened to that full BBC interview. President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
Yes, I tell you.
Lastly, on the LGBT issues, I mean, if you get a nod, how far would you hope to push it? The president, your candidate, when he was interviewed on the BBC, he said he would now look into what is in that bill.
You know, that's a misconception has been put out. And I listened to that full BBC interview. President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
As a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill. Then he pay chantra. Aya monshano. Both and the Kwanwuntini na yiyi. Monsha Sam George Bill. A Hong Kong is a dear. Nana Nimusia. Na way Sam George way a year elder. A year Reverend Janasare. Sorry. Sam George elder. But we try to throw politics into here one minute home. The question we are asking today. Sam George, you're too baby all of a sudden the energy and what they call LGBT, young penny, young colano, ye be say, shum, energy nasa. Hoodwinked all of us, or about what time? All of us, we thought that it was for a genuine cause, they were fighting for a year LGBTs and some, we didn't want a year. All of a sudden, you're too baby, fine. Now, Senka a year. Eno nko akanya ya naka yeda sori ya yesi efre bibi teacher manual ne yede teacher manual ne yese yede curriculum akoma eye a teacher for se omo fan kira de no esi emma wo mo manual akoyese wakoto TV how to set up so yede curriculum na bro na ebo no part of the curriculum no esi emma wo manual wo de be kira de. So 2025 physical education and health a year elective teacher manual they my teacher for no. Ironically, the apostles of a year LGBT anti-LGBT campaign omo bemu na you see say ure fi ohu a da bia be yemfonso e yes haban we ya na John Mahama One Andrew Solomon koda ampaso. So if John Mahama on a second term, ekachiro se obeko etia galams LGBT. Were you really expecting that obe fighting against LGBT? Oh yeah, normal. John Mahama wotimi president wotimi ni bema koda ampaso president. O reduce your governance to that level say bema ene bema edampaso. When he was the president, only Andrew Solomon Kodam, and you actually thought that Sani Panosenya another opportunity or Besaba. So, Yanan Soria teacher manuano, Samuridi, if it's very clear, teacher manuano. Omodi share a year asiye, tienye. Teacher manuano say, now there is a different definition, gender identity and internal experience, tienye. Recognition of non-binary identities. Eti say yekase gender identity eye oba ne be ma no. Ene jomama ban mu. Teacher man wa ye de ma eye enkola no so omu nkosua de no. Mo ready ba bia ya circle ne blue no a. Oso omu de omu nyintum, ma teacher fo ne nyintum say eye oba ne be ma ana ye the only gender. Muti asem yo. When we say gender there either male or female. Eti Church of Christ ni anka waban mu de and yamatan saa we thought that we would not probably see some nemom yada sorry here gender na ye define no or say it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender which may or may not correspond with his sex assigned at birth. Ye de be kire ye ma no emema ni o. Ye de be kire ye nkola no. Ye say teacher for say first no, ye ka say gender nke ye male and female. Name apostles of anti-LGBT and they under their governance. Womo say yen ka say do gender it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender which may or may not correspond with the sex assigned at birth. It can include being male, female, or a blend of both. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. John Mahama abmemuono. The omode chire yemano. Or say this concept goes beyond the binary notion of gender, that is male and female, and recognizes the diversity of gender experience and expressions. These were not accidental inclusions. Haruna Idrusu and set up NACA. Don't forget, during Professor Jenano Poku Ajima time, and a UNESCO for issue, UNESCO for program be omoye so omoye, and what na sa gender and same way shall see by now a babedru here, so MPP for it started with John Mahama under Professor Jenano Poku Ajima, no your vice president. And then almost see a new say. Yaka say a gender, any male and female be nemono a male, female, and any other description as nipani fili. Haruna Idrusu. Who authorized this definition? When authorized it? When authorized it, was it Parliament? Was Parliament informed? They say ye changing one idea. PTA. Parents and Teachers Association. Mama phone and papa phone. Timunim see the idea where you share. Mo ayi say mo man say wo mo besua say oye oba na mo fili say oye kwadwo oye be ma fili say oye kwadwo besia ampa ye gender. Afe ye tre wo mo to e sha say you so we have recalled NACA say we recall it. Now not only should NACA recall Nyomana. We are calling for Professor Samuel Ofori Bekoin, said President in Sakeno. If indeed the president does not support this nonsense of LGBT, then Professor Samuel Ofori Bekoin should be sacked. Other than that, apostles of a year Ntrumu and then Muamemuono Ntrumu Muamemuono Mubu. Apostles of anti-intrumu and intrumu amemu ana womubu na yentie enchiremua NACA president no edibai.
Need that assistance to be able to implement the curriculum effectively. There's the need for those who develop the curriculum also to do a kind of a guide that will guide the teachers in how to go about implementing the curriculum. So this particular manual was developed for the physical education and health elective program for SHS Year 2. And although it was developed in 2024, they were releasing the manuals as and when the MS were ready to enter particular years. So 2025 was the year for that 2025-2026 academic year was when the new the students who were doing the new program entered Year 2. So that was when the manual was released.
Yeah, that's it. It's NACA president to say, yeah, the 2024, it will buy in one shim, yaman oversight responsibility, Juma. Say one woman yamran chen maba wano. Wamun shuan yo mapapa, which corresponds with a social cultural practices. Almost over the Debbie, he say, Ghana for, Aso for, Munyama idi. saa na Kufuor bae ne first year second year mu nyina mu ye di ni eka eduru ba bia mu hunu se ya akode kyena mu hyase be kan na John die nso ye mu bi ye hunu nyoma ne bebre ye ka asofo nyina ye din Reverend Agenasade wa ye din ayi papa ya ne minim kakraka ya ote ayi Spinkters Danka Williams wa ye din ene ye kyerɛ ye ma no se ntrumu ye acceptable obi anka ho asem asofo obi anka ho asem ede dia na Agyekum mu didi se tam eti asofo ni nyina ensemhunu nkomhye we na ese menu obofo mo hye ase na mo ka bie mo ntimi nka bi ubegyina wa na aye obi ade ne nsa be ka joma ama bia obi ade ne nsa be ka joma ama bia obofo we ni ade ahye ya ade mu si yenkola nkosua sese ye ni oba eni bema ye wo bema ana ye wo de akola no afili eti edu ba bi na se ofasi ye twa ne tredu akora ma ne oba ye makwa ma ne nye obi aso wonkasa I was it please try Alasan Musa was it please try and okay dear Evans please try and translate it into Twi ni nyina ne se Jomama say ye beji ntumu omo kyere nkola no and ye frɛ bibi eye indoctrination tienie now subversion if you want to destroy a society you don't need to the only thing you have to do is to miseducate a generation of that society. And that generation of that society will one day come and miseducate the rest. And that will be the end of the case. It makachira mo say, sa conscientization of yenkola, say omo suen trumu, it we the enti omo di ahyem ne say. And then menu mienu, the enti aye bon trumu so a, na ye ho eye tan eye hin say. Ye nyina ye ba no. We were taught to hate it. Tienye. Now broni ni munyansenti. Ono ma meko saa dede na moye no ye hian so be change mo curriculum educational curriculum ode be fa eye etibon kosofo a yabo mo paase wo mo emmuman na yesesa no na akola ye ko kire ne se o free na de ko akola wadi 12 wadi 13 free na de ko ye free bi gender nemom gender ne enye male and female nemom no it recognizes diversity of gender it is a u feel kojo be se no so gender a time will come sa ankola ye o mu sua sa de no omo ne ba be members of parliament omo ne ba be hyemra saa bere ni duru oni ye ntumu ade no ba beto a enye omo time because omo sua ne ye kyerɛ wo mo so dede na amoye no Jomama ban kyerɛ ye nkola ne se ntumu nya hwe in the next 10 20 15 to 30 years there is no way as ankola ne be ye omo time eti said ye ya omo ma ye to ya bosum nyina gu ye no man fetuo ni agyan. It was just to indoctrinate you, subversion. They needed to miseducate you for a while. And one kasa obeko fie na no maame ma obeko. Eti bedu ba bi nkola o musua sa nsem hunu yi. Omo be sori na o maame no makose ntumu nso ye de yi. If say up until 1960 year in Britain, now uye tumu ye chewa ye kum tienie ye do to jail. And I'm see ye ma akwan ma nkola ni suasua eye sa nneoma we nyina. And Britain ntumu ye normal conversation with them. Sani yasu ya makwan mo de sani yomo ehihye ye curriculum mu e de kyerɛ nkola na de a ene obabusa so eye de enya hwe but omo de kyerɛ nkola na de a time will come that sa nkola no ane ba benyini na omo nyina omo de ba be hyemra sa nkola no ene ya makwan ma ubie eye movies a almost every movie Sam George ani tiri koto se gemu aboa every movie in Ghana se ene obehwe a wan nyakora benya 1 or 2 gay scenes wo ye nkola no so ye ne omo na ehwe ene cartoons nyina yenkola ne ene omo na ehwe cartoons nyina edi gay scenes ahyem enso Jomama so wo fight because on sign what the papa we would you omudi at your own peril ti de meka yi be se uje Jomama ban di at your own peril. President Otimi ene Andrew Solomon Koda empaso such a demeaning posture of a certain president of a nation. Now, Otimini Bema Fufro Koda Pasu Mietwa and a picture. Such a character and Mujidi se Ampanyampa Wasisa. It's just a matter of time. Give time, some time, and people will see it. Some Georgia in a Fusa Wanamanu Kunko to say a Lufthansa Babitu. Owie nya to me we once wa kan ge once am you Said they no si kwa up and down near so for yempene. Also near 2 million obey a minister. Once I can get once in view. Na kioneta by Miss Munina money, it will come. Ma worry, maybe be a how. Na yama brena angasan in yin of muddy. What it? Now, young sorting through, medical catcham say a bino on cano correct. A bino a kioneta bine. Na a bine ya kioneta binety. What the near bebre ACSM. Young Cobra Saba.
I am going to a phone, many years waiting. Any years waiting. I am going to. Now, my business, oh, you be my home, Mama is rosy. Oh, you're going to a phone now.
Medi Yeswachi. Sa. Ora, fellas ofosu kwache edi nsemu tuja enra. Ofrena accountability series of a year John Mahama Amemu. Now accountability series in yesi ebusa question. So far government no yede. But yan kone ni fellas ofosu kwache entwetwe nkomo na mo enipa wo mo wa ban mu. They lack integrity. They lack honesty. Propaganda. Aturo ani yede sum nipa no. So last year, arise test concert ofosu kwache Salome man. Osu ye munye jasa aniama no. Ha? O friend Salome man sa na ye de. Oh. We ye jama do me market for ma no ne ayi makola ma me kemu enka. Se wo ye Salome na emu no o no betra na we jai. Fellows ofosu kwache yentie o.
And my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware of this. Each district is required to construct 2 new chips compounds this year. Each district. So if you put that together, we are talking in excess of almost close to 600 chips compounds that will be put up this year alone, or at least work on them will start this year. If we maintain the tempo, that should give us 2,000 chips compounds in the next 4 years. And this is a significant step towards improving healthcare services for the people of Ghana. Because even the Abokomano chips compound that I put out sometime in April last year to the Assembly's Common Fund, and my DC is right behind me, so he's fully aware of this. Each district is required to construct 2 new chips compounds this year. Each district. So if you put that together, we are talking in excess of almost close to 600 chips compounds that will be put up this year alone, or at least work on them will start this year. If we maintain the tempo, that should give us over 2,000 chips compounds in the next 4 years. And this is a significant step towards improving healthcare services for the people of Ghana. Because even the Abokomano chips compound that I put out sometime in
Ora fellas ofosu kwache last year say wamaka chere eye aban no MCs and the district assembly for no say obiansi 2 chips compound na ye ni ade na wadaroma lady we esa mo hwehwe na me nim no me hu ne da. But the lady is very intelligent. Lady Nishia eye fellas ofosu kwache yentie.
June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made a promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed at the end of 2025 has been constructed, and where when are they going to be operational?
The second bit is about the chips compound. Now, it is not my policy. I spoke about it, announced it.
You want to say, oh yeah, Papa, go any monte. Oh yeah, Papa, go any monte. They say they would Ghanaian free policy. No, it is not my policy. Felix, what the two just said chips compound, Mubesibi. Now, Mubesi 2 per every a year district assembly. And Wabani Busau say, chips compound be a new per district assembly. No, I yet day. Accountability. Felix,
but it is government policy.
June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made the promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed. Enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. The previous government had about a.
Now, fellas, of Fusuquachi, chips compound and ewahe. Oh, now, fellas, say rebrofo. And so when we say chips compound simply means ABC, fellas, and yet chips compound simply means asem and yeka. Ye busa say chips compound ewahe. Oh, when we say chips compound, no didn't nam, no watre, no when Timian can say chips compound, ye we baku si. Fellas of Ozuwa change me uncle. Na me baba catchere mo say abani ye killnet abai. Now yentie Felix and I know me the two you say abai na appointed presidential staffers omuwo at the same rank as deputy ministers. It ye bo moka as though omu ye deputy ministers. Say me kura de minyane wrong. Now Felix of Ozuwa che baba responded to me yentie.
When somebody say that presidential staffers acted as deputy ministers, no, they are not. In terms of entitlements, they are equivalent to ministers, presidential staffers. So when you hear somebody referred to as a presidential staffer, in terms of entitlements, they don't function as ministers, but in terms of what they earn and their package that goes with their office, they are equivalent to ministers. Presidential aides are equivalent to deputy ministers in terms of their service conditions. And then there are political staff who are staff of these staffers and presidential. For instance, if you go to the president's office, there's the president himself, there is the chief of staff, there's a secretary to the president, there's a legal counsel, and then there are other senior advisors. These advisors don't work alone. They also have staff that they work with. So if you put all of that together, there was a point that we had about 361 under President Akufo-Addo. I think about 41 staffers or so, who by virtue of that position would be entitled to the conditions of service of ministers.
Mom pay attention, say Edu Akufo-Addo the answer there. Or both figures Akufo-Addo, apart from the ministers, 120 ministers, or both figures of a presidential staffers. Now, lady way, I don't know who she is. I think the lady must be I see a bully the number so. Or mom ko be na mu sanya answer question bia. Now, Felix, yenti.
And deputy minister. So the 125 Land Cruisers would come with another 40 Land Cruisers and 40 saloon cars, 40 bungalows, or 40 sets of payments of rent allowance, 40 sets of payment of fuel for every week, and then all the other conditions that they are attached. So you do not really need a soothsayer to tell you how colossal the cost to government was to have that number of people. The fact and reality now is that we have fewer people in government now than we did under the previous administration. So significant savings have been made that cannot be disputed. That must be placed on record.
Fewer people in government now than Akufo-Addo. It should be easy to answer the question of how many presidential staffers anamuwo ananyasa. Yentie lady no yenti.
100 staff at the presidency. You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less.
You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. And when it goes, you will see it. Yes.
Now,
thank you very much.
Okay, or say a far less. How many presidential staffers and a whole government spokesperson cannot tell us how many presidential staffers after 1 year in government? Otiminya akufo-addo de kai. But a yet 1 year in government, a whole government spokesperson cannot tell the people of Ghana the number of people working at the presidency. How many presidential staffers do we have? Now, Osi Akufo-Addo 120 ministers plus 300 presidential staffers. Meanwhile, in 2024, government compensations was about 63.6 billion. And ye di ye ewo presidency. Sa time na Akufo-Addo die no ewo soro. In 2025, aban na wose ne die no wo fom no. Sa aban koro no in 2025 a raise cost 76.6 billion. Chenye. Aban no. A ono feliso fosu kwa chinya 72 million de tena baby ote no. So what the government communication. Eti Akufo-Addo aban no so. Ye hu bi da. Eye large. In 2024, odi 63.6 billion. Jomama abanya ba, abanya sha, lean government, ministers near 60. Now, 76.6 billion ye allocated core presidency, so munkonkodi. In 2026, government has allocated 90.7 billion here de kwa koma abanya na usano. Abanya show, chenye. Abanya also wo saving. It question ibusan say savings no dey ma yen e wo he. But when the NTA ontimi enka enchira the number of presidential staffers because makacham say abanya no eye frakadam eye killnet abanya. Mon hwade. Abanya we e release makacham say omo sheda appointee eye ministers especially regional ministers aba kwada ne TikTok minister. Now, omo appointed regional ministers we you know. And omo person omo appointed deputy regional ministers. But when is omo koka deputy regional ministers a ye be kan aka eye ministers ho. Etiem from omo eye deputy regional ministers. Nemo ye be from omo eye regional coordinators. Tienie. Ye be from omo regional eye political coordinators. Now, regional political coordinators yen hwa de bi wa ha. Mo pay attention. Now, omo release our list way. Pay attention. List way Anthony Nupenu, Miami, or your regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Greater Accra region. TNU. Now, surprisingly, omo our list way you know. Omo the Ashanti region thereby mienu. But among Ashanti region, the enemy and share at the same place. As I read here, Ube in terms of Omo eye frakadam. So at the end of the Acheremono, Monsha eye last end ho. Ubonso Omachro, okay. Ye read it top no. Isham Alasan. Let me come back. So we Isham Alasan. Second row, or your regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Ashanti region. Tienye. Now, we Isham Freewa. The next person, yanko the next list so. Yenyi the next list, never went so. Now, next list na share asiye ho. On say, omudi nimi enu nyina akọ boss at the same time, anka wu read here. Ube wunu say Ashanti region kwa ya appointed. Now, Pfizer Dauda, ewo down ho, on also a deputy regional political coordinator to the regional minister for Ashanti region. Now them dia aban we eye kill net. No mo ya atro nipa bonefo aban ntino. When him say actually omo appointed me ensa. Menya ne tie kura said na omo sa appointed ba kwa kan wo. Na omo appointed me ensa no, omo anfo omo nyina din ama. Eti the omo di kan di ne din ba ye eye second row. Second row no. Tienie. The omo di kan di ne din ba. Now Oma omitted the name of this individual, who is my brother. Oma omitted the name of this individual. Oma Anfani Diama. In 2025, August 19th, Anna Dr. Frank Amwako hine TikTok minister. Ebeka chira yese, Mr. Sylvester Japan. First no yi movie a dodo na friend slide. Miami pa nyanche me no dako. Eten en kana ache. Then times miracle films me no ana na ebo. Sylvester Asar you can say Sylvester Japan. Yeah, appointed as deputy political coordinator for Ashanti region. And so I'm releasing a list no. Omo amfa Sylvester Asar di anship. Woni me dia. Omo di ship mo be hunu say coordinators ni di doso. That is the kind of entro governance I mo namujidi. That is the kind of hypocritical governance being given to you, and you believe them. Omo appointed Sly as deputy regional political coordinator. Our muji pay equally as deputy ministers and ministers. Now, Oma amfa onidi and share listing because omo di ni share listing mo be hunu. Eti jomama aban no atro aban. No kura ba akokura nim. But when I keep on telling you guys are not listening. Other than sliding, they've omitted it from the list of coordinators. I don't know my omitted. Ashanti regional minister na to nyama na me to ho. August and Ashanti regional minister Becca say you appointed Sly as deputy regional political coordinator. Meanwhile, you amfani di anka list no because you need kan ho a. Afi you be hunu say regional coordinators no mo for. And you believe such a government. Because our government no president etoto shatawale nyom. You believe such a government because our government no president sheshe kambu red gold green. You believe such a government because that government ni wakwa asori na okotena chiri we humble me so otemo adwene ase. Joma ama temo mo adwene ase. Wonim say the theatrics ni mo deche amemu. Wonim say theatrics no mo deche amemu. Na omanya yetimi di obi obi ne yire no mienu asem yetimi bo paako omo ye nipa to a saa nipa yi eti frakadama ban no killnet aban no wonim dia mo etimi esu emu eti na da bia na John de humble John de Let me go that say wa appointed yen sorry free way be ka muntie na money kwakuokom so se wani trikoto say ayi anyway yamfa ento so ne enko US aban but entia menya ne say actually there were regional coordinators political coordinators there tienie. Etina, there were regional political coordinators mienu already. And once I appointed 3 akoka onu ohunu so de kire mo. Oh. Ajay, kionet aban no mo hunu da frakadam aban. Bibie mo ni nso emie. Nanka Felix wadaroma presidential staffers near say yes and
I have to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. Then when it goes, you see it. Yes. Thank you very much.
Felix, numbers are not a yes saying.
You were bold enough to mention that the previous government had about over 300 staff at the presidency. I want to know concrete figures. How many staff do we have here?
I can tell you for free
at the presidency
that the numbers here are far less. Indeed, we are required by law this quarter, I think by March or so, to present the list to Parliament. So you will see. I think that the numbers are being compiled, but I know for a fact that it is far less than what we inherited from the previous administration. Then when it goes, you see it. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Felix is so on to me count the number of presidential staffers and machire mudientia. Kwame. Kwamwachi yadom. O pap ayi wofa. Material seno. Yes, me blow me a trumpet. I am one of the most intelligent people that will ever walk the face of this country called Earth. Na mene manfo ni dilia mete manfo no adwenase. Eti mitimi yusu manfo no momo ankasa timi ye bibi no munim se mi yusu o ma momo ayade. So enra ana beto odwa se Trump administration, you know, at the ban ato immigrant visas so 75 countries including Ghana and Nigeria. And of course, me de to Facebook. Me anam chroy, nyame obi anam chroy. Na me de to we na me sa edit na me de shame say World Cup no wahye. So in effect, in their quest to say they want to get at me, which I knew that's what they would do. They ended up propagating Wamuangasa ban na ye dia to Omaban so. They ended up propagating Omuma ban ne kwachire ma manfo teaching say me angasa me to me page. It mwadwene no keten. Na nipa maba United States nyata mtegano maba be share immigration law this semester. Ma pass A- in immigration law. Professor Lulu Ferrante class. Ma pass A1. Minim what immigrant and non-immigrant visas are. Minim me de so work up no ashena. Me so mudimirika omo say yanyano ni amoa. Na omo ye no. Na afi omo angasa e magana fo o tese yabane womo angasa. In their quest to somebenya they will come at me, no. They ended up promoting say abani wo muangasa. Mwadwene yen kete. Edamensa me didi agoro. Me too minim what family based immigrant visas are. And a minim non-immigrant visas. Na me ba me tena kodo so me de ayi body ahaban ne ba ayi America ho. Eti yabani wo mo. Was he suspended? Okay, brofobia pese na okuja to ablakwa ana omo ye na dome market for man say yet ye baby Donald Trump meka ye de hu ya ni so okuja to ablakwa Donald Trump akọ Venezuela e wakwa pamu eye Maduro de hu ya so okuja to akọ release letter okuja to na asemwe afa wo ho ben. Because the timing, foreign minister, a free Kwame Nkrumah pencil, your foreign policy are very the same. We neither face left, we neither face right. We face forward. Kwame Nkrumah foreign policy. We don't belong to the east, we don't belong to the west. We face forward. Ubedu America for say they do not have permanent friends, they have permanent interest. Etikamino kasei America for ne Venezuela for your madia ana enyese momu ya tilted towards the east anka fa wo okujeto ablakwa ho ben Professor Mills di mani wasi du fiasem afa no okujeto atwe no atwero mirror of justice nsemhunu no atwero na do mi market for man se okujeto nkofa asem mreye kofa mreye. Afe, the simple thing is that America forcing a banner. There has been instances America for suspended a year visas our man for Ghana anka ho. Ana enye Ghana nko ayi 75 countries countries bi o ya inform anka ho mo African continent so ya inform anka ho. And nobody should come and tell me say okuja trasem no okokan no it has nothing to do with a year visa ni ade. It is say me no kasai. Immigrant visas enyina a kire say family based visas. It is a ukunu ana wo yire e wo America na ate Ghana no so wo file amount sebra tienie nebra betena ne nchen a enei me no kasai sa enya adwuma ene wunya visa ya suspend. And then say who win American lottery, say American lottery no. Who win here and they won't me and konkonya visa if she is suspended. And yamen America. And they okuja tonse mu no kodi ye. And he suspended. Ya suspended more. And they because of a year suspension went say green card who apply for green card e Ghana. Visa bia based on green card say ukunu ana wo yire ana ompena ana obibi eti America no file ama unya o papa ma me wa ha unya ti de make yi ene ya suspend mu mesi unya uma ubetimi ama obuafu ubetimi enkosi hwe unya countries ni bi wo ho a ya suspend wo mo. Nobody should come and tell us, and if I he, ne kwesi he, ne yesi, and I any investigate to omo. Your countries are investigate, ya investigate to omo. Get out. Now, yan sorry so. Here at a bino, you know my we are. Mama meant to say, you win free. Me won say emre bi etwa mu na me ba USA half fro no obi betena ni show so na ebema bomidi come to America bomidi from picture to ne bomidi bi oni ehwe. The person was just not relevant, but because he decided said we will no longer tell the people the kind of foolishness all you need to know when ya leeway bi a odi dim kwase asem saa. Some of them I will let it slide because man for no angasa adwene no. But what we would not allow, and it's such a character. Ede empanimfo mabo brache ne se. Ene na busuafo nyina edin betwitwi ne nkwase asem a wo yenim. Now me wo ne sending me video bi efa amatela ho. Bola bed no say o ka ensem a enye no kore oye toro na oye toro no manfo na adwene mu o hanti wo twa mo toro kora na the and my brother mechiri mu ache manfo no also President Ntim ya poison no na ya poison President Ntim last year ni evidence ni we ye sure so evidence ni evidence ni we here. Was a letter President Ntim family at Chorobaye. Now, Obeka letter na mohu. Okay, I would have allowed because still are dunderheads, airheads are the ones who follow this motherfucker. Forgive me. I mean, so why do you need to partner with Yakwa when I said, why do you need Diagura? And so Timu said, I know Kofa President Kufuor di Ebeshin. Even some President Kufuor Ankasa, knowing the man I knew, sir, the guy was just being a fool. Well, Jimmy, but I'm not paying my far phone. I'm afraid President Kufuor and said, no, what to say? You didn't come out here, baby, and said, there is a video going also where now I have his permission to state on record. Muntie video, no Muntie.
Tell President Ntim the reason why President Ntim issue no enkoye. Do you know, say? Mena woka Sunday, J.A. Kufuor, ya papa Kufuor nkwana stopping the family of President Ntim from coming out. Do you know why? Muntie. Let me state on record. Me say me President Kufuor kasa ene anopa. So I have his permission.
Sa jimisem we ya kwase yi ka no President Kufuor ni mu hwe. Tienie. Jimisem ya akwa na ka no President Kufuor edin ni mu ba bia oni mu hwe. Ora Stephen Ntim yam poison ne ba bia. Stephen Ntim yare because wanyini ana ehon sensem ni ade mema yare ni bia che no. Yam poisons Chairman Ntim ba bia. But obetwa tro a eso kofa mpanidi betwitwim. Jimmy Fossey yentie.
The NPP as a political party, they poisoned Stephen Ntim. See, Yabapa Kufuor is the only person intervening.
Obwa.
The family of Stephen Ntim, they want to.
Obwa, President Kufuor nim ni Jimmy Hohe. President Kufuor nim Jimmy Hohe.
Come out publicly and have a press conference and let the world know, say, Stephen Ntim was poisoned at one of the events our MPP organized here. J.A. Kufuor is the one standing between this action by the family and the issue. Now, say enye J.A. Kufuor and Stephen Ntim family about out at a press conference.
Obwa Stephen Ntim family nko hu President Kufuor baby President Kufuor nim ho hwe. Mr. Stephen Ntim yam poison no Stephen Ntim yare e no kore. Nevo yare o yare ne mema yare. No poison anywhere. Chairman Ntim yare before even see eko 2020 election. Yam poison ne baby. Now Bolabedi eba be chiremu die nti a ya poison one for evidence fufuro bi amo. O say letter Stephen Ntim family edibe to dwa no wo be kan letter no. But it baffles my mind how somebody could read such a letter and put that kind of interpretation on it, and the people believe such buffoonery, such foolishness. I don't get it. After yenti the letter corona oba be kan yenti.
We say Stephen Ntim was poisoned. That is the reason why Stephen Ntim resigning as the head of the NPP, as the national chairman. The party wrote that long statement. They were sending a message to the party, say, you people, you have poisoned our son. You have poisoned here this year. So I'll go back now, kind letter now, family release here now. They were saying something to the party. J.A. Kufuor and I stop it, Stephen Ntim family from coming out. And say me boy, moi we interview president no Chairman Kufuor. Me papa ko we come kan.
Osi yenko busa President Kufuor me say and on all the gods in Ghana that I believe in. Any de mu nyina mu gidi. Ensu atwe enwo ahia nyina me say anopa yi. Me de President Kufuor adi nkomo. President Kufuor si Jimmy Semwe onim ho hwe. Wonim ho hwe. Plain stupidity. Wajimi, we ya no hwe akola wajimi de. We ya no hwe a wajimi. Wonim ho hwe. Na edienti ni ya poison no a oberedi letter ni yenti.
I know, sir, I know, but I have to say it because o party no omudin kwasi asem do. The NPP poisons.
Yanko read the letter corona or beka yenti. Kwanim ni read the letter corona. Okay, so letter now or say
you poison Stephen Ntim.
You read the letter.
Stephen Ntim Abusa for releasing letter no. In fact, let me minimize it and read the caption that was shown. Mokai, Ntim family. Letter nini. Mokai sa letter we. Data omutre na 16th of June 2025. And I'm releasing sa letter we.
Na atade be nkola pajamas bi e hye no a wode to a wodi o twatro e kire mpani. Jimmy bola bed. Hwe nkola pajamas bi e hye no a wodi twatro e to mpanimfo so.
Yeah. Now, Shade, I'm ready, baby. I am marking ready. Thank you very much, team, for bringing this in.
Team Biani, baby, team Bia, one didn't say.
As some night, we should have show letter him. These are fucking dangerous people. Now, see, although not official, it is well known that Mr. Ntim is not well at the moment, and his condition requires time off from active professional activities in the interest of medical attention and monitoring for the time being. Almost say, Munina Munim. Asama busuafo no tom let them say, minim se anim sa munyina munim say, ayas Stephen Ntim the home fan. The party knew from the past that the says Stephen Ntim you poison.
Okay, so how do you read a letter which states that although it is not official, but it is well known that Chairman Stephen Ntim is not feeling well, and you put a meaning to it that you say, oh, yenyam fan to gase Chairman Ntim yare. Name me sure say nipa bebre no anim say Chairman Ntim yare. And a character like this could sit down and deceive the following. Say that presupposes that Stephen Ntim has been poisoned. How does that statement in a letter presupposes being poisoned? Such a daft character, such a crazy ass character. A letter, Stephen Ntim, although it is not public knowledge, but it is well known that Chairman Stephen Ntim is not feeling well. And to his understanding, that statement now, what kind of human being is this? What human being is this? Why Jimmy Kurenti brofo kakra onti ase? Yes, auntie. Yanto aswenti.
And I can say, Sesia no munyina munim no. Jare na abetod so ye nyina nim se be hia se be ne kakra. Na ya so ne yare na no because munyina munim de okom ebusuafo ne letter nie. Where 2025 me de okọ back. Na ma sure why the MPP is a foolish political party.
The evidence in your letter you. Yes, what did Odinkrata Benyan and the evidence in the letter in.
Now, my mention Stephen Ntim, the reason why Stephen Ntim issue no enquire. Time off from active professional activities in the interest of medical attention and monitoring for the time being. Almost say, Munyina Munim. As some bushman for the tom let them say. Minim some munyina say ayas Stephen Ntim the home fan. The party knew from the past that the says Stephen Ntim you poison. And I can say, Sesia no munyina munim no. Jare na abetod so ye nyina nim say be hia say be ne kakra.
So why in the letter?
Na ya so ne yare na no because munyina munim de ok.
Hey, Bolabed. Where in the letter is it stated that Stephen Ntim was poisoned? You read a letter. The words are very clear, unambiguous. The words in the letter does not need any explanation. But you, in your daft mind, tends to put another interpretation on the letter to now say that Stephen Ntim abusuafo say you're poison, and you get the likes of Ayemani Kweku Komsemo, Eje Kwasia Sedi. How do people who reason believe in this guy? How? I thought that I get baffled. How people actually believe such a fool, I don't get it. What your true letter, the words are clear. Stephen Ntim yare, although yenyanya in the public, but munyina munim say Chairman Ntim yare, Chairman Ntim yare no, obey take time off, and it is only normal. It is only humane. It says obi yare. Sabi ahim for cry. Yes, Yesua yare. It is obi yare. Obi take some time off. No dia kwa kohe no yare. How then do you put an interpretation on a letter that says that Stephen Ntim yare or Kosan ho yare? It will take some time off to say that you are poisoning Stephen Ntim, and he gets people to follow such a character. If only these people knew what this fool has been doing.
Home, ebusuafo ne letter nie. Where 2025, me they all come back. Now I'm sure why the MPP is a foolish political party.
This the poison Stephen Ntim na President Kufuor nim ho bi no. The evidence ni nyina ni o. Wonye nipa mo maginedi. And when you're about President Kufuor I won't care because MPP now are serious. And you're about President Kufuor I probably wouldn't have even responded. But more mutien munyo sumo adwene kakrai. mo amutie no eti mo nyusu adwene no kakra obi akan letter no eye na watimi adaada mo say letter we kire say ya poison obi and what do you do with that question adwene ben na mutirim adwene ben na mutirim. Okay, so Issa said, you Ogadeche, where is your evidence in exposing KT because you have not recorded your conversation with President Kufuor? Okay, so let's even assume I did not even speak to President Kufuor. Let's for a second pretend that I have not even spoken to him. I am asking you, Umar, I'm asking you. And this will be here at the no kind salad to which there were. What dreaming a year you must say? Hey, Mozumuha, you. What you mean you swag? But you see, and yasa, and I know miracle films can same be chreme. And Sassamon and Abe, the guiding principle, I mean, yase. I say, ya na yawa gene said ye ultimate grinny easily, no. Sana obia timid grinny. Boa na grinny if free ha, echo see war in a sea. Tia your muamotre. I'm not surprised that we get the likes of Kwaku Combs and the Umar, and they believe such foolishness from a guy. What kind of letter no intro him or see a poison? But you see, said the Basin tell us shas, you know, and the Basin tell you a philosopher. We enche or be a philosopher, what? Enche or be a philosopher. Said we got a number. I will be our can assembia, and I didn't will be our good no our can ask more problem be out on baby. I will tell you problem be any baby. They woman medisi, you know. PK Sapon. One a year with Tim. Emma a year, Mamma Kusia Sewa. Ade. And I ask Ade because say that lumba ewu kone krechi na upese uprezi mamia kusia sewa. Must you do it at the expense of lumba noa na brabo bebo yana? Ade. Obie ni wa oye die hard lumba fan papa. Only buo Emma kusia sewa. Even if we did not know her in person. And let me state that mene mami akosia sewa akasa. Oba bedru Ghana. Mene mami akosia sewa na papa shi nyina akasa. I don't support any of the two camps. And eyamo den se mo bedi atum se whether odobru ni ne campo, whether akosia sewa, I don't support any of the two. But mami akosia sewa mo campo na ase mo yama. Enyama ni be a time. Enwa PK Sapon mi nua be ka se ana enya akosia sewa akada blumba wenya hit. When you do that, you are disrespecting the hard work of the man. And I do the siomu what na si atworo nyuma ya asam gedwa. Sameti ya na do the siomu ba na masoka ne na mesua de na ochina me yire ti ba bia. Okay, woboa under no circumstance will anybody dispute the fact that Mami Akosia Sewa has been an integral part of Daddy Lumba's life. Why are there? No two ways about it. But moka mane rubbish as that Lumba ye kwasi ampeni bi nenya Akosia Sewa. Tiabe no. Ti Akosia Sewa na tworo nyoma that Lumba. Ensemo efiri ni tiri mu kan Akosia Sewa na de ma no ana de be ya. Ade na mo yesa. Ade. Yabetimi aboma Mami Akosia Sewa abaso. Why are there? Nobody will disrespect her. But when woman yes as in the quest to some be praise Mami Akosia Sewa no. It is mo be denigrate papa no achievement. Eti sebi Mami Akosia Sewa ye mo na baso why are there she is done well. One developing Lumba, one building Lumba. Nemom Lumba na one building ye what die ya na do the shum e tworo nyom over 30 years or ye kwase ampani. Their narrative no. Ade narrative no. Munyai sa nneɛma no. Ɛnyɛ fɛ. Wate? Munyai. Mene papa shi kasa, me ka kyerɛ papa shi pɛn. Sɛ nti wo nua paa na ɛwuo na woyɛ. Enti gya woyɛ nti ɛfɛ. Ɛnyɛ fɛ. Ɛyɛ japadeɛ ho asɛm a obia ne obetimi atena Ghana hɔ sɛ Daddy Lumba japadeɛ wo bɛkyɛ no ɔma akosua sɛ wa bi. Ɛdeɛ nti na ɛsɛ basa. Ɛdeɛ nti. Enti me masa, yɛn nyinaa ti ya, it cannot happen. But enim guasia no amu ana Lumba na nyɛ wanhyia akosua sɛ okay. Wanhyia akosua sɛ wa anko ba afoforo bi bɛyɛ. Teresa ye bi dwaben. Wo wi wokɔ. Okoto akosua sɛ wa yɛ ne deɛ. O play ni ro. Wawu Lumba wokɔ. Ayi odobroni be so mo no nso play ni ro pa. Obi aye bi. It is not an either or situation. Enye either here or there. Ade be no. Mo nyan se na me hwa papa shi ya. Me hwa papa shi ya. Na mabusa mo se timiti wiase. Me namfo no mbe pa na se wo kye na mawu a umbedi nkwase asem ya papa shi ye di aguma mu ase. Me hwa mu a me hu se Kofi Kwaku, se Denis Agyejumo, se Kwaku Osu se Chiro, se Alex Kwaku Boateng. Se me hu di obedi nkwase asem se de. Me hwa mu a me hu me ntiase. Na me ya no ana na nanu mo ka kyerem se na nei na wo hunu bi na reviso ne nkwase afo nso adi agoropen. When nkwasiafo adi agoropen omo wo picture. Enti e bia make say nay for the past 15 years. Woni say nipa no kura ni agoro because wo wonu say bia na adwene mu no eti wo mpa na godie bio. Na mo oni ni di agoro mi bi emire bi atwa mu no woni watwa picture. Wo kyena say BBC na say nipa me na menim no. Onya kas wo nanim no de picture ne kire ye obi abeka say I make sense go bia no wabrabo boy latter part of it. That person was not there. Eti me ka kyerɛ mu nkwasiafo a menim adi agoro a wo me picture a wo kyena ye wu ade baba be kyerɛ abedi de abɛyɛ de papa shi ɛyɛ no fa picture ne bra ne ba giska me pɛ nkwasiasɛm sɛ wonim sɛ wo kyena wo ya wo sɛ I'm fighting for truth be of what good is the truth if it does not bring peace. No koreka no se emfa sumdue mam obi a honto no a no koreka no a wo se wo kan wan no kore akosua se wa de odobro ni dia na Lumba de no anti akosua obi a wo ayi anti akosua mi bu no papa obi antimi mfa nanim nyefo enye no kore Lumba wonye boni aye ni wo bitimi ne papa won suta donwa otimi edanase emire bi atwa obitimi ye Lumba papa wa kura bi ase 30 years later obedanase to onye boni aye ni ti anti akosua a onema a woye ye nyina eye no kore waya ade ye nyina ye ta na chi odobroni so be ye bi mo se da bi either or situation adai na papa shi wotu wiase na wonim nyansa wonua no on ne kofa mai mienu nyina bai e ma no nyeso de ba akoshe tokuru mu hui ti ede ba no medical ka me se wo a onim se me no wadi agoropen a me wu a wo me picture aba be din kwase asem sei fa bra beje picture beji ska me pen kwase asem wonim se na abaye machi na ntimi nkura machi e make sure ye father enforce obekate wade gya so ntimi nkatema de gya so na asise na abaye dia fa bra beje fa picture kura na me won fa beje because ene bi kura 15-20 years ni me hu e bi a 10 years ni me hu defense here.